What's up guys, Nick Rothwell here. Hope you're living the dream. I'm recording from my bedroom because I have two daughters. They're both home this evening and it's pretty loud anywhere else in the house. And I didn't get into the office today, so live from our bedroom. Comes question of the day number 2. The question today comes from Ben on Facebook. He asks, what was the most valuable skill you learned at school? That's a great question, Ben, and one that made me really think. I spoke to my wife about it as well, and I was like, looking back at school, you probably learn a lot of stuff that really isn't that valuable after school. Yeah, like I can't remember, unless I'm working with a student, I can't remember the last time I used the Pythagoras theorem in daily life, right? Or used trigonometry, or had to write another essay, right? These are skills that they teach you specifically for school, and of course they're valuable in their own way, but I wouldn't say they've had a profound impact on my life. If I had to break it down to the most valuable things I learned at school, here they are. I'm going to give you 3. Number 1 is the skill that every employer in the world is going to look for, that is going to get you to where you want to be. It's working hard. I feel like for me, the HSC, which was 11 years ago now, that was probably the year that I spent, that I worked the hardest in my life, probably up until then and really since then. Obviously I went to uni and I run a business now and I work hard in those things. But that year, I just remember I would stay up late and I would study, and I would get up early and I would study, and then I'd go on study camps and I'd study. And it was just simply because I just wanted to perform at my very best. So I did everything possible to make sure I was performing at optimum level. Working hard is a crucial skill, and I feel like that's what you get taught in school. And for me, that was super, super valuable. The second most valuable thing I learned at school was doing things you don't want to do, right? And that's always going to happen at work, whatever it is you choose to do after school, it's going to be the same. You're always going to have parts of life and of work that you don't enjoy doing, but you just sometimes have to suck it up and do it. For me at school, I was a musician, right? So I hang with the music crew, but I was always terrible at sport. And schools naturally include sporting into their curriculum, athletics carnivals, swimming carnivals, and I would make sure I attended each of them and I would go in every event. And I was terrible. There couldn't be anyone worse in the world than me at sport, right? I'm just gifted to not be good at it. But I would still go in it because I think it's really valuable to learn that skill, that even if you hate something, you give it a go. And then, like I said, as you go into the workplace, you're going to find there are things in your job perhaps you don't like, but you still have to do it. You still got to suck it up and do it. I think that's a hugely valuable skill. Number 3, and I think this is probably the most important, is learning to relate to people who have different opinions to you, or who think differently, or people you just don't even like, right? Wherever you are in life, there's going to be people who are very different. There are going to be people who think differently and who you just don't get along with. And I think learning to relate to them is crucial to success in life. Right? Life is about relationships. Like, sure, you can be the best at what you do, but if you are terrible at forming relationships with people, it's going to be much, much harder to get anywhere. I think that employers these days, they look for interpersonal relationships, interpersonal skills much more than academics or marks, right? And so for me, school was all about learning to deal with people and making people feel special and making them feel accepted. Like, I think that's what I look back on when I think of my schooling years, and I kind of smile at the relationships I built, because they, although I don't see a lot of school friends, I still remember the times we shared together, and they were special moments where true connections were made. So for me, that's the most valuable lesson, or the most valuable skill I learned at school, was just to connect with people. And hugely important, and it kind of still impacts me today. Hope that helped, guys. I'd really love to know what you guys think. What was the most valuable lesson you learned at school? Leave it in the comments. We will chat soon. See you tomorrow.